Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am very glad to be here with you today, sharing with you a, let's say, fantastic story, just to open up your imagination. So this is an invitation of fantasy, let's say, to open up your imagination. The thing is that if you really want to do your research, you're going to find out that it's not really fantasy after all. But what I want to share with you is that these are very interesting times to be alive, because we are getting very close to the disclosure of technologies that have been hidden from us. The implementation of these new technologies has a lot of profound implications for our society as human beings. Implications that at the end are going to drive us towards balance, justice, freedom, and real free will. Okay, and health, and so on and so on. So pretty much towards not suffering anymore. Technology. Yes, technology. So my purpose of this video is not to convince you about anything, nor to sound like a lunatic either. But I understand that is inevitable. But it really doesn't matter. The purpose of my video is to share with you a certain knowledge that is going to plant a seed that is going to help to expand the collective consciousness of us, the human beings. So here we go. I'm going to share with you, how many do I have here? Seven types of technology that have not been disclosed yet. I already made a video about this 4 years ago, but now I have more information, so I would like to expand on it. The first one, and the most important to me, that I consider for the needs of the people, are called the med beds. These beds, there are different types of beds. These beds, they can repair the body. When I say a bed, imagine like a tanning bed, but from the future. More futuristic, just so that when I said bed, you have an idea of more or less what I'm talking about. So those beds, there are many different types, and some of them are used to repair the body, repair the DNA, repair the body, the geometrical structure of the body, like for example, regrowing new limbs, like regrowing an arm, regrowing a leg. And this is not a joke, actually this technology already exists. The thing is that now it's going to come to disclosure, and that's why I'm so happy, because the time has come. Now, these med beds also help to heal the mind, and they help to erase traumatic memories. They also help to, as part of the repair of the DNA, they help to reverse aging as well. Isn't that beautiful? All right, those are the med beds. Another type of technology that is about to be disclosed for us pretty soon is free energy. Happy say hydro. Oops. Free energy, I have spoken about free energy before, blah, 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 Nikola Tesla, blah, 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 but I don't want to go into politics and things like that. But free energy is going to be available pretty soon. What else do we have over here? We have anti-gravity craft. Anti-gravity craft is going to be exposed to the public. We have had it for a long, long, long time ago, coming from reverse engineering, and blah, many other sources. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is just to talk about the technology that is already available. So that anti-gravity craft is going to give us, imagine the implications of these beautiful people. It's going to give us the possibility to travel off planet. And then is when your heart and your consciousness and your soul is going to remember and go, and remember and have those beautiful experiences. Imagine the expansion of consciousness. I find that pretty amazing. It's gonna allow us also, these anti-gravity craft have the capacity to travel through portals and stargates. So what that means for us is that pretty much we can time travel. Because we already know that time doesn't exist. Time is just is only a name for relative spin rate, because actually the space-time continuum is just created by gravity. But if you have the technology to affect that gravity, as we have already spoken before, through toroidal coils, crystal technology, blah, 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 no gravity means no time. Because the time is not linear. That is just our perspective, because in this 3D reality of this matrix, we experience the time as being linear for one purpose, for the growth of our experiences and our soul and the accumulation of our wisdom. In this 3D, we need a linear time to measure that growth. But in reality, time doesn't exist. Time, as I said, is only a name for relative spin rate. So time traveling is going to allow us to go through past, the future, and multiple timelines that are coexisting with this one right now when I am speaking to you and you are listening to me. There are infinite timelines happening at the same moment, including the past, the present, and the future. So imagine that with technology that can affect the gravity, meaning get rid of the time, can travel through the past, the present, or the future. I find that fascinating. No, I'm not cuckoo. It's actually for those who are interested in exploring more about these subjects. You can look for it on the internet. As I am going to be speaking to you, I'm going to mention some sources just so as a reference. But the sources are infinite. Now, these vessels are obviously going to allow us to meet other civilizations, but that's how I'm going to close this video. So let's leave that part towards the end. as an example of technology that has not been disclosed by the military-industrial complex, for example, are the triangular black anti-gravity aircraft that has existed since 1947. Actually, one of my friends here from Facebook, Alara, from Hawaii, she actually has had the experience of taking pictures of 3 of these TR-3B aircraft, but they are not ETs, they are man-made. The pictures are real. Okay. And also these type of aircraft and these type of things that have not been disclosed yet, if you actually do your research, I invite you to, for example, go to the official CIA website and read the declassified documents for yourself. For example, what else are we gonna have? Okay, so I want to share with you the gadgets, some of the gadgets of these wonderful anti-gravity crafts. And they are, I have spoken about this before, but the ability of cloaking. Cloaking means being invisible to us or to the enemy or to anybody. Being invisible to being invisible, meaning that the aircraft could be floating over here outside my balcony and I don't see it because I see clouds, but they are not really clouds. They are just aircraft using the technology of cloaking, and they can be seen as clouds, or they can be seen as mountains, or they can be seen as regular water, for example, in the ocean. So they can render themselves invisible with that technology. That's not new news, but I just wanted to mention it again for those who have not listened about my other. I actually posted in Diana QTV on YouTube 4 years ago my video that is called, I forgot the name of the video, but it has something to do with undisclosed technology. And believe it or not, guys, as much as I say, oh, everybody's gonna believe that that I went nuts and I need to go to a psychiatric asylum. Actually, that video is one of my most view videos in YouTube, Diana QTV. Well, that means that probably everybody's going nuts. No, actually this video, as I said, is to expand the collective consciousness of humankind. So this craft also, okay, there's also over there the technology of holograms. These holograms have the capacity to allow different beings with different needs of atmosphere, pressure, let's say, or density needs, or other needs like air or water or things like that. When meetings happen between certain beings, that includes terrestrians as well, where people meet is like well, a meeting room, but some beings are in physical form, like flesh and bones, and some beings are present in the meeting through a holographic projection with their consciousness, and pretty much like physically, but they are not there. What else? Most of this craft and most of this technology is based on, well, technology like Nikola Tesla with coils, with pretty much electromagnetic fields and crystals. So there's a lot of crystal technology that is going to come to the use of the public pretty soon. I'm going to share with you next, but not yet. Okay, so yes, part of that technology is part of the med beds that I spoke before. These anti-gravity craft, many of these vessels are organic. It's like an AI, but organic. It actually has consciousness, and for people to be able to drive it, they have to have a particular DNA in a particular frequency of consciousness. That's fascinating. So imagine a chair with some things over here for you to put your hands on, and then you put your hands on, and that immediately connects to all your neurological bioelectrical field, and you can drive this vessel through intention and consciousness and vibration by dialing up the coordinates, so to speak, and then the vessel takes you immediately to where you want to go. Could be a portal, a wormhole, a black hole, or a jump door. We're going to go into those details pretty soon. Now, what else? These anti-gravity aircraft, at the same time that they have the capacity to manipulate gravity, precisely because they manipulate gravity, they are able, and that's why they travel through space and through the ether. They can also travel through underwater, like submarines, but at infinite speed, and also through matter. So let's say through mountains, for example, or for example through the ice peaks of Antarctica. Just to give you an example, so that you can play with your imagination. All right, that's all for anti-gravity craft. Now, there's also a technology that already exists, and that is called the time-looking device. So it's a device made out of crystals, holograms that could be activated through consciousness, and then you can have visions, literally holographic visions of possible timelines of the past, the future, and the present. That's another rabbit hole. All right, now what else? There is also the technology that has the capability of cloning. So that means that they take a sample of your DNA and they literally clone your body. And that's why many of these beings that are from higher densities and higher consciousness, well, the beings out there are just made of plasma, conscious plasma, so they don't need any bodies. But for those of lower densities who we still need bodies, we have the capacity to clone our bodies, and when the body has decomposed, so to speak, or has gone through these time continuum perspective, meaning aging, with this technology you have the capacity by choice to transfer your consciousness to a younger clone, and like that live forever. So pretty much this type of technology can bring us immortality if you choose so. Immortality, why? Would that be something important? Oh no, so that I could look young for the rest of my life. Yes. Would that be beautiful? Yes. But in reality, the point is to have the capacity to not lose your memory, meaning to not lose the wisdom that you have acquired in a particular birth. That's the point. Isn't that fascinating? What else? So yes, for the evolution of consciousness. We also have arcs. We also have here on Earth the technology that our ancestors have left behind so that we can activate them when the time comes. Meaning we are already enough awakened conscious beings here on Earth. So now this technology is being activated. This technology, they call them the space arcs, which are actually spaceships with technology and knowledge that can allow humanity to propel to a timeline in which one nobody's suffering, everybody's happy. Imagine this. Okay, so these arcs are very spiritually advanced. They can just be activated through people who have a very high level of consciousness. And some of these arcs are in the Bermuda Triangle. In the Bermuda Triangle, where the Bermuda Triangle, please, guys, please, if you have not researched about this, between Florida and Puerto Rico. So it's pretty much a triangle in the Atlantic Ocean where since eons and eons of times there have been very crazy phenomena. We could say paranormal phenomena, or very weird phenomena that has happened, like infinite flights, airplanes, ships, and people disappearing and nobody knowing where they are and not finding any debris. That's another rabbit hole, but just to let you know that under there in the Bermuda Triangle, there is one of these space arcs, and they can be activated, as I said, just by higher consciousness. Like, for example, I know about some I know about some groups of people who were there recently, and please, if you are interested in listening to these fascinating stories coming from the sources of the people that actually have been there, you are welcome to research Dr. Michael Sala on the internet, and then you will go through the rabbit hole of many things. But for example, it's very beautiful, and it's just an anecdote of how these arcs can just be activated by higher consciousness. And it's that many of these black operations and secret operations, military, Navy operations and whatnot, were over there in the Bermuda Triangle, and then they went over there to these arcs to go inside and activate it. And the only ones that were able to go through the arc that has an energy field that is protected were these, let's say, like Mexican shamans that tune in with the energy of the ancestors and the arc, and they started chanting Akuriamate, Akuriamate. And akuria mate means something like activate. Like activate, where we're talking about multi layers of consciousness. And these ones were able to teleport from outside of the ark to inside and have a conscious communication, while the other parts of the groups that were investigating such phenomena, like for example the Chinese army, were all pissed off because they were not able to enter. Well, I know this story sounds super crazy. That was just an anecdote, a fantasy world. But consciousness is very important to activate this ancient technology. What else do we have over here? All these arcs are connected with each other through portals. Some of these arcs are, as I was saying, in the Bermuda Triangle, under Lake Vostok in Antarctica, in Mount Shasta, inside the mountain in Mount Shasta, under the Himalayas, in Iraq. Oh, Iraq. Just put the dots together. Iraq, Ukraine. Just put the dots together. There is always a reason why things happen for a certain reason. But that's not the point of this video. Mount Fuji in Japan, Hawaii, and Florida, in Orlando, in Florida. That's another story to talk about in the future, or for those of you who are interested to actually listening or investigate for yourselves this information, Dr. Michael Sala and Elena Danaan. Well, actually, you know what? Let's move to Elena Danaan's, because I would like to share with you the difference between portals and stargates. So let's do this over here. So this is taken from, sorry, hold on a minute. I need to open my window over here. All right. Sorry, guys. I had to close the window because there was construction happening outside. And now I am super overheated. Okay, now, from Elena Danaan's book, her latest book, who was just recently published, The Cedars, Elena Danaan, page 303. Let's see, I'm gonna need more light over here. A portal is by essence a threshold through which we jump or teleport to another place, another time, or both. It is a quantum leap without a linear physical transportation of particles. Instead of a transport, it is rather a transfer. A portal can be natural or artificial. I have spoken about this before 4 years ago, but I love the way Elena puts it because it's very well explained and summarized. And she has actually gone through those in physical form, not in imagination. A stargate is a proper portal allowing transfer to long interstellar distances, other galaxies, other timelines, and parallel dimensions. Isn't that fascinating? It can also be created artificially. We can find them in natural state, floating in space, like the one that is right behind Jupiter, and on planetary locations or even inside the stars. Earth has a lot of these ones. A jump door. Okay, so a jump door can be classified as a portal, but this term is rather used for an artificial teleporting device allowing short distance transfers of resources and material, such as interplanetary transportation. Black holes. Black holes, sorry, blah, 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 blah. You know, English obviously is not my first language. Black holes and wormholes are two different things. A black hole is a celestial object that has a gravitational field so intense that light cannot escape. It is often created in the collapse of a very massive star into an infinite singularity, generating a volume of space-time with a gravitational field so intense that its escape velocity exceeds the one of light, meaning that nothing can escape. All matter, light, and energy and condense infinitely within the central singularity. So a black hole, not even light can escape because of the density. Now, a wormhole is in fact a black hole, but without the singularity point. So what does that mean? Quote, as its name indicates, it digs a shortcut throughout the fabric of space and time continuum. Unlike a black hole, one can travel through a wormhole, but as it cuts through the space-time continuum, any object traveling within it is not submitted to the pressure of the ether and naturally enters into a warp drive of hyperspace. Contrary to any kind of portal, which teleports instantly any object traveling through a wormhole. The portal teleports instantly any object, like like in Star Wars. But a wormhole, you have to travel through a linear time. The transportation is linear. All right. Thank you. That was Elena Danan, The Cedars. This book is going to help you activate memories of who you really are. All right. What else do we have over here? Elena Danan. So, these are very interesting and amazing times to be alive, because we are going to be the witnesses of a huge improvement of the quality of life of humanity. This is a wonderful opportunity to witness the awakening of our collective consciousness, becoming a civilization with a consciousness that every single sentient being is as important as anyone else. And that includes you. In outer space, nobody bows down to anybody, regardless of how advanced another being could be. Everybody relates to each other with respect, but not submission. It's all about knowing who you really are. So when all of us have the opportunity, or when we actually as human beings already have our shit together, dudes, which means respect for each other, is when we are going to have the capacity to have these quality contact with our brothers and sisters that are already there. But now more and more sightings are going to happen, and more contact is going to happen. So I am making this video really because I want to warm you up for the future, so you don't freak out and start rioting and start ripping off your clothes because of cognitive dissonance. So yes, guys, this technology exists, and we are going to be relating to each other in outer space with respect, but not with submission. And actually, something super beautiful of the people who have had the experience of being there and having met all these civilizations said that the way people say hi to each other is like this. You put your right hand on your heart and you kind of like bow down a little bit. But it's not because, oh, you are more important than me, or you are richer than me, or you're more famous than me, or you are from a higher density than me. So I'm gonna, oh my God, I'm gonna bow down or kiss you in the hand, like when? I'm not gonna say what, but I almost said it, which is ridiculous. It's about knowing who you are. So respect, but not submission. So you put your right hand side, you do like this, and then you slightly do like this, which is kind of like that thing that we have over here on earth, which means namaste. I see you, but I also see the divinity within me. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I love you all, and have a very beautiful weekend.